Food has always been too expensive in Africa, Samuel.
If we don't change the way we do our things, okay, I think that is going to get worse.
How people are finding it difficult to even buy simple food.
It's not something that is peculiar to only the African continent.
Why is that?
It could be linked to the Russian-Ukraine war, okay?
Mm.
If you take our continent, bro, I mean, African continent, we have the fertile land, we have everything it takes, okay, for us to really produce and then be self-sufficient. I mean, have a lot of food to eat on the continent. The problem is our perception. If a graduate and I ask you to go into farming, would you go? Will you go? You will not. Because we have that perception about white collar jobs, and I mean, the perception about how our parents even suffer. I mean, parents who really suffer through farming to really take care of us. So we wouldn't want to be in that position. But I also don't blame ourselves. Farming in Africa is unattractive. Today, farming in Africa is equal to poverty. If you are poor, you do farming. But if you go to some countries, okay, European countries, I mean, those that do farming, they are the rich guys. That's the perception we need to change.
Russia is the highest producer of fertilizer in the world. Russia and Ukraine together were the highest exporters of wheat products and other products like sunflower oil, vegetable oil to other parts of the world. Right? You have a country like Ethiopia, which is also one of the highest producers of food in Africa. In fact, if you look at the recent admission of Ethiopia into the BRICS, which will start from next year, one of the factors that was based on is the fact that Ethiopia is able to produce a lot of food. Now they are a commodity country. Why is it that other economies cannot follow suit? We have 54 countries across the continent. If each particular country decides that they are going to be specialists in one or two commodities and produce them on an industrial scale, I think we are going to solve a lot of this food crisis and food issue across the continent. Don't you think so?
Of course, of course. You see, there was a president, I think, former president of Ghana. I think his name is a Champon.
The military leader.
Yes, yes, yes. In fact, he introduced a policy that says that you should plant, if you have a yard, okay, if you have a yard or if you have a backyard, you should plant something over there. Okay. It was a policy, okay, and it was some kind of a habit that he wanted to really inculcate into the Ghanaians. And it worked. And it worked. In fact, some of us we came to meet, okay, some of these things where you have to plant
our
something.
Parents had backyards.
Is it
exactly?
Yes, but today, when you can see the mansions in Africa, everywhere is tiled, and because it shows beauty. What about using that yard, okay, to plant? So that's why I said that everything we do in Africa goes against us. We don't really plan. We don't plan. That is the problem. We don't plan. We always import. And we import fish. We import everything. Even toothpick we import. Meanwhile, Ghana is on the list of one of the countries that really export a lot of timber. But at the end of the day, we import toothpick.
Well, they'll tell you that toothpick is made from bamboo, and bamboo is not produced on an industrial scale.
Bro, you see, myopic thinkers. You see, if toothpick is made from bamboo, okay, does it mean that we cannot make toothpick from timber? So must we always?
Why don't you produce, or why don't we grow more bamboo so that we can produce our own toothpick?
You see, well, I don't know, but you see, that's the problem we have in Africa. That's the problem. Up to date, we have not been able to lure the youth into agriculture, into farming, because at the end of the day, if you finish, university and you go into agriculture, hey, you have failed in life, because everybody wants a white collar job. At the end of the day, how much are you going to earn from that white collar job? So we can also not blame them, because there are no mechanisms, no sophisticated equipment and tools to really facilitate farming in Ghana. So if you go into farming, it's the likelihood of you suffering is very high. That is why we see our parents and our friends and who were not able to go to school. we see them and we think that, oh, they are failed in life because they are farming. Somewhere in other parts of the world, you see that those that are into farming are the rich guys. It is only in Africa that when you do farming, they think that you are poor. That is the perception we must change. And another thing is that we should also, because you see, I saw a video where Wodamaya was showing how oranges were left to rotten on the roadside in Ghana. Meanwhile, we have people who don't even have fruit juice to drink. So we have storage problem. In fact, oh my God, the problems we have in Africa, too much for us. We have storage problems. We have everything is wrong. It's really sad. Okay, we haven't had a president that have been able to say that, look, this time we are going to use agriculture to develop our country. Everybody's looking at gold. Everybody's looking at, petroleum. Everybody's looking at those, luxurious, resources. But what about food? What about planting what you eat? This is the problem.
Touching on what you said right now, and I really want to make this point. Let me play the devil's advocate for a bit here. Talking of the government and what policies they have not put in place or not. If you go to countries like Rwanda, now if you check the countries that have had food inflation over the past few months in this particular year, Rwanda is on that list, Ghana is on that list, Nigeria is on the list, Zimbabwe is on the list, Burundi, Malawi, Ethiopia, they're all on the list, right? Now, if you check a country like Rwanda and Ghana, I'm using Rwanda and Ghana as examples. Why? Because for Rwanda and Ghana, they have policies that really help farmers. The government has introduced a tax holiday policy where anybody that goes into farming, for example, in Ghana, if you go into farming for non-cash crops like maize, like cassava, like banana, like tomatoes, like onions, all of these staples that we eat, the government is giving you 10 years tax holiday. 10 years tax holiday, right? In Rwanda, I think it's something very similar. It's around 8 years to 10 years tax holiday as well. So why is it? My question here to you is that if the government has provided this policy, don't you think there is also a certain sense of responsibility on the part of the young people and the youth to be able to take advantage of some of these policies and go into farming? Because, of course, you wouldn't really want to sit down and say the government should hold your hand and take you to the field to farm and to till the land or to rear chicken or to have a fish pond, because there are tax holidays for all of these things. But why is it? My question here, why is it? Because the thing is, okay, we can say maybe there is a lack of fun, whatever. Now you see some of these young people also channeling their money, into other businesses that are not necessarily so sustainable. Why is it that they are not looking into farming as an option?
Bro, you see, you have the policies. Okay, tax holidays, good. If I don't have the money, if you don't give me loans, okay, to go on the field and plow and plant, how are you going to give me that tax holiday? How am I going to benefit from the tax holiday? It doesn't make sense, bro. The policies, you can make policies, but you see, at the end of the day, you have to think, how many youths are on the ground farming? You see, some of these policies, they are there to just show that the government is working, doing something better. But
don't you think?
I disagree.
Don't you think that some of these youth also are not actively looking out?
There is no money, bro. There is no money because it is not easy to go into farming. You need a lot of money.